Of all the names to see after my problem with, Ray William Johnson was one of the last people I thought I'd ever be typing in the title, right after Steve Carell in The Office, that is. But my expectations have been getting shattered pretty regularly recently, and it seems like it might become a trend for me to make videos on YouTubers who have been on the platform for over a decade and may or may not have a channel that's dead in the water but still has like 10 million subscribers. Boy, am I excited! Kwite, what happened this time that you're making some sorry excuse of a video on a person for? Well, let me tell you folks, the video I'm making on a person today, Ray William Johnson this time, isn't actually ironic. It's an actual problem I have with someone. You see, my good friend Hoover, aka the Human Food Vacuum, in reference to his past life spent as a Henry Hoover vacuum, and also his love of cheeseburgers, made a video entitled, Ray William Johnson Thinks He Can Sing. And basically what he did with Quackity and Wild Spartans is he looked at a bunch of Ray's old-ass songs from Your Favorite Martian and shit, stuff that we all laughed at privately before that video, but Hoover decided to make a video with his friends doing that same thing, reacting and commenting on those videos, basically doing a more group-driven version of what Ray did back in the day when he still had a YouTube career to speak of.
You don't get to have a podcast called Kings of Influence when your recent videos get less than 0.3% of your subscriber count and views, Ray.
But it seems like Cock Johnson wasn't too happy at the fact that some people were having some laughs at the expense of some shit that he made a decade ago. I don't know if it was that long, but it might have been. So he decided to copyright claim Hoover's video, all 12 minutes of it, blocking it in all countries so nobody could watch it anymore. Now, something about that seems weird to you, which it should, and I hope the part that sounds weird was the whole fucking sentence because everything about it is stupid. But I want to focus on Ray William Johnson claiming all 12 minutes of that fucking video as belonging to him. This isn't a case of UMG or some other big fuck-off company saying that there was a 1/20th of a second audio-visual match, so they now own all the money made off the video. This was Ray saying that everything in that video belonged to him, which apparently includes the parts that were just Brandon, Quackity, and Hoover talking, where literally none of his music is being played, and it's images of those three people and their likenesses. Apparently, all of that is still the property of Ray William Johnson. Not sure how that factors out, but it does in Ray's head, I guess. Speaking of material objects, though, did you guys know that I have my own merch that you can buy at kwiteshop.com? Well, if you didn't know, now you do, and if you did you know there's an all-new design available on hoodies and t-shirts, drawn by the very talented @YakPoo on Twitter?
I hope I said your name right, I'm so sorry.
It's the hammer bat design. I've got a fucking bat, and I will whack you with it.
Not actually.
You should head to kwiteshop.com and cop that shit right now. But plugs aside, I really do just have to side with Ray here. Those three guys in that video were just bullies. I mean, Quackity shuts down whole games for an entire day when he decides to raid them, and he bullies poor Indian tech support scammers. Brandon called me gay once, and Hoover looks kinda like Brandon, so they might as well be the same person. Hoover made his own video talking about this whole mess, and I do suggest you check it out. This man got robbed out of a video he spent a full New Year's night getting done so we could upload it the next day, and he deserves the support. Go slap his channel a sub if you haven't already. He should be linked in the description. Now, of course, Hoover tried to appeal the dispute, and since when you make an appeal against the copyright claim on YouTube, it's literally just sent back to the claimant themselves to decide if their own claim is valid or not, it makes incredible sense. It's physically the best system ever devised in the short lifetime of humanity. Ray William Johnson denied the appeal because of course he did, even though some of the shit he claimed as his own is the voices of the three people who were in the video talking by themselves with no Ray William Dead channel audio or visuals to accompany it at parts. Places where it's literally just their commentary, and I'm sure this doesn't take a genius to figure out so long as you're familiar with the kind of content Ray made back in the day, but Ray Squilliam Fancy Son is a massive fucking hypocrite for this shit. But back in the glory days of Equals 3, the entire show was based around taking viral clips and Ray making jokes and giving his commentary on them. A comparable format to what Hoover was doing here. But this time, because Ray found himself as the target of one of these videos, he figured that it would be okay if he shut this one down. Since it was people talking about him and reacting to stuff he made, it's no longer okay. This is the same kind of shit that happened to Ray several years ago, actually. Except when it happened to him, you could argue that it had slightly more valid reasoning behind it, but basically what happened was that Jukin Media, you know, that video behemoth that buys the rights to all those random-ass viral videos on Facebook that your vaguely racist grandma liked, also the ones that you see in fail compilations and shit, they filed a DMCA takedown for multiple videos from Equals 3, and then Ray and Equals 3 sued Jukin Media, saying that all the videos that they made with their media, and by extension, the ones that had DMCA takedown notices sent to them, all fell under fair use. A judge ruled that all of the videos were transformative except for one. Eventually, Jukin struck back, and they went to trial where it was determined by a jury that none of the Equals 3 videos were protected under fair use. Now, apparently at the time, this laid the groundwork for a collaborative business business relationship in the future between the two, and I don't know what came of it from there, but according to Ray William Johnson himself though, from his perspective, this case was a fight to protect the First Amendment rights of me and other creators like myself. He claimed to be fighting for the First Amendment rights of not just himself, but also other creators like him, people that make content in a similar fashion. And as I said before, I think it's fair to say that that video of Hoover's fell under a format comparable to Ray's.
Just done better, really, though.
So listen well, boys, and remember, Ray William Johnson cares about the rights of not just himself on this platform, but also the rights of other creators too. Until you say something he doesn't like, that is. Perhaps like saying stuff like his music is trash, and even his new stuff sounds like it's stuck in 2011, which it fucking is. Otherwise, he's gonna claim the entire video you made talking about him, and you'll end up with a fucking copyright strike on your channel. If you guys follow me on Twitter, which if you don't, then you are making a horrible mistake, and the only way to correct it is by following me on twitter.com/Kwite right now. But if you do follow me, you'll probably have seen that this isn't the first time I've said Ray William Johnson is kinda gay. Like on New Year's Day, I said hashtag Ray William Johnson is over party, which was a fun little hashtag for the gang to rally around to let the world know that RWJ is indeed a loser. That tweet was actually made right before my "Who do you think ate the first ass of 2019" tweet. I can tell you who definitely didn't eat the first ass of 2019, because it certainly wasn't Ray William Johnson. I also called him a fraud the other day because I thought it sounded funny. I'm not sure why else I tweeted it other than that. Now thankfully, Hoover has been seeing a pretty good amount of support. Obviously Quackity, Brandon, Anna, me, and Henry and the rest were mad about that shit. But also Keemstar had made a tweet about the whole situation. Sarah TV made a tweet essentially saying that Ray William Johnson's channel is fucking dead. But I think this whole situation is just another incident that highlights the bigger issue of YouTube's broken ass copyright system. One where the factor of fair use is typically just thrown out the fucking window. There's the obvious issues, like where a claimant gets all the ad revenue off of your video, no matter the length of the material they've claimed you've used on your video. It could be a clip that's just a couple seconds long, and then they still claim all the ad revenue that you could have made from that video. Ad revenue that Ray, in this case, won't even get because the video was demonetized to start with, and he made it so no one could see the video anymore. Also that bit in the counterclaim process where the appeal gets sent to the person who made the original claim, so the person who made the claim in the first place gets to decide if the decision that they made was a valid one. If they choose to deny your appeal after waiting for the longest possible time they can to respond to your appeal, that way in the meantime they can make as much ad revenue in the passing as possible. And if after that you still want to dispute it, well, you better be ready to enter all of your personal information to send to the claimant. You also better be ready to take legal action if necessary. Oh, and also you risk getting a copyright strike on your channel if the claimant, I repeat, the claimant still decides that their claim is valid. You might just kind of be fucked at that point if they choose to do that. In the case of Hoover, we have somebody claiming shit that's not even their content, and is literally Hoover's likeness that they are claiming to own, which is dumb, no shit. This copyright abuse stuff has been getting absolutely out of control on YouTube lately. UMG has been going for the throat on a lot of people's videos. Gus Johnson made a really good video on the situation as a whole if you want to check it out. But like I said, this whole Ray William Johnson incident is just an example of an even more widespread issue on YouTube. It's just ironic that Ray is one of the people that became a part of that problem. Also, since Ray William Johnson didn't like that Hoover, Brandon, and Quackity were critical of him for his music and shit, I figured I would step on my own soapbox and go on about why it's less than fantastic. Except unlike Hoover, when I talk about Ray William Johnson here, I'm not going to use any clips of his actual content, so if he tries to claim this video and take it down, it will be absolute horseshit. Even more so than when he claimed Hoover's video. Now to be clear, I don't know that he will claim this video, I don't think he will, but it will be a false claim if he does. But anyways, let's get started. Ray, your Twitter bio reads comedian, rapper, I'm huge on MySpace. You'll probably need to rethink that comedian label since your opening joke was I'm huge on MySpace. But the rapper bit is even more questionable to me. Most of your musical catalog I'm pretty sure comes from the Your Favorite Martian days, most of which is very old to be fair. All that stuff came out of like 2011 and 2012 times. But all the new stuff you've made might as well also have come out of that exact same time period, because it already sounds like it fucking did. I'm pretty sure the best you've ever rapped were the couple of verses you've had on epic rap battles of history videos, all of which were probably written for you as well. Real quick, let me just have a heart-to-heart with you, Ray, which is easier for me because we're both midgets. You were what, in your late 20s, early 30s when you made songs about a fictional version of yourself in middle or high school, pining over the tits of another fictional teenager? I know you were just trying to tap into your market at the time, and I do respect that. I enjoyed those videos as a kid, and Hoover said he did too. But looking back, it is a little embarrassing for you, I'm sure. I do relate. In fact, I think I understand a little better why you wanted to get rid of Hoover's video. Maybe it was less about that what they were saying hurt, but more that you just didn't want more people seeing or hearing such classics like "She Looks Like Sex" in My Balls alt-rock cover. You just didn't want any more people knowing those existed in general. At least Hoover will always have one Ray William Johnson by his side. No Context Ray William Johnson, a Twitter account dedicated to posting out-of-context clips of Ray William Johnson equals 3.
So it's exactly what it sounds like that account would do.
But they said that they liked Hoover's video on Ray, so isn't that really all that matters? Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to drop a like, and if you're new, subscribe. If you guys have anything to add, disagree, think I missed anything, or got something wrong, be sure to leave that in the comments below. Like I said, there's a new design up on the merch store, kwiteshop.com. There's also other shit as well. It's pretty slick. If you want to support the channel a little more directly, you can do so by clicking that join button next to the subscribe button and donating $5 a month to get things like custom badges and custom emotes. It's totally optional, but it helps out the channel, and it is much appreciated. I have a podcast with Wild Spartans and FPS Diesel called Loudmouse. We upload 2 new episodes every week on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and we're up on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter at Kwite and on Instagram at Kwite.png. Links to both of those in the description below. And lastly, I also have a Discord server. Link to that in the description as well if you're interested. Anyways, this has been Kwite, and I will see you guys next time.